Okay, for those of you who are active on the Cup of Linux forum, I got good news for you. After sitting up half the night, I figured out what was causing the error 500 issues, and I've got the forum back up and running, and everything is working as expected, and so now all functions are working. So good stuff indeed. So for those of you who enjoy interacting on cupoflinux.com, you can catch me on the forums. I'm checking in there several times a week to read all of your messages and that sort of thing. So it's always good. I also like to take a time to thank all the people who have been supporting Cup of Linux and helping me to keep the lights on at cupoflinux.com. Everybody who has contributed. I'm not going to mention all of you by name. You know who you are. Thank you very, very much for your support. It's really appreciated, especially this time where I'm not able to work as many hours and that sort of thing, and I'm spending a little bit more time than I'd like to at home. And that brings me to what we have going on here. You're going to notice on the sign above, we've got this, looks like we've got a new mini-series starting. Okay, and this is something I've been planning to do for a long time, just that I never got around to it. For the longest time, I have my Android Galaxy S2. This thing is ancient and old, but you know what? I love it. It works. And I have a bunch of applications that I'm still using on this thing. I love it. And so, so why not? So I might be demonstrating some things on that. And then I felt it was time for me to upgrade to a tablet, something with a little bit more oomph, but something within my budget because, well, I'm not rich. And I found an interesting tablet that came to market, and this was not too long ago. And this came to market from Walmart to compete with the Amazon Fire tablets that are out there in the budget category. And some of you guys will laugh, but you know what? This is a pretty darn decent tablet once you root the thing. And this thing is easy to hack. The specs on this are it's got 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigs of internal storage, and it will take a 128 gig SSD drive. Okay, once you debloat and remove all of the unnecessary applications on this device, you can expect some pretty decent performance out of this. So I think in this series, not only am I going to cover some of my favorite apps, but I think I might point you guys to some of the threads on the XDA developer forums where you can learn how to do some additional things like uninstall applications and bloatware without using root. Of course, you'll probably want to use root on a device like this when you see all the really cool things that you can do with it. At any rate, I think this is a pretty neat device, and what's really interesting about this is I didn't pay the full $65 for this. You can go on eBay and buy these in new condition for $35. And the only difference is they've been opened in the box, and I bought 2 of them off of eBay that way. Bought one from Walmart for the full $65 price because I wasn't aware that you could even get these things on eBay. So I ended up purchasing 3 of them. So that's got to say a lot. I actually enjoy this device because I'm actually able to do quite a bit with it. And you're going to see that I have it on the screen here right now. This is running a stock Android Pie operating system, and I've got everything customized. Originally this came with a Walmart button, and I was able to hack that out using ADB shell commands. And then the original launcher this came with was Quick Launch, which had that annoying Google bar that I didn't want to have anymore. So, and you can't get rid of that unless you swap it out. So I'm definitely going to be covering in detail all of my favorite applications that I have that I'm using right now on Android, and some of them I'm even using on the Galaxy S2 as well. So, I mean, so both on the tablet and the Galaxy, some of these apps I've been able to use, and then I've even been able to take APKs that I can't even find on the Play Store off of my phone and put them on the tablet, and they work, even though for whatever reason they're not showing up in the Play Store. Well, that's neither here nor there, but I was able to do it. So interesting stuff. So we've got some good programs and that sort of thing that I'll be covering in the series, and I think it would be something fun. Is Android Linux? Well, technically no, but it runs on top of the Linux kernel. And then, of course, once you add BusyBox and a few other utilities like a terminal emulator, it's pretty close to a Linux user experience. And it's not GNU Linux because it doesn't have any GNU components. So I pretty much call it Android / Linux. But some people will argue that point, well, really, it's not Linux or anything like that. What about this other project that Google's been looking at? I forget what it's called now. It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm sure it'll come back to me. But at any rate, I think we got some good stuff coming up because, I've done some real serious customization with this, and I've got all my different little root applications I'm going to probably want to talk about, some gaming. One thing I'm going to show you guys is how to find apps in the Google Play Store that do not have in-app purchases. You'll be able to filter out apps that contain ads and all the other stuff. I've got some dirty little tricks and secrets I think I'm going to have coming up in the series. So definitely something worth checking out in the upcoming episodes. I think I'm going to start things off tomorrow or the day after, whenever I have time to film it, is the launcher and all the widgets that I have. I think that's a good place to start. And maybe I'll talk about how I themed this thing too. So that's coming up in episode 2. So there you have it. That's your introduction. And if you're interested in hacking your Android, quick shout out to XDA developers. Just do a Google search. You'll find them easily. Most of you guys are already probably signed up for their forums and everything. I mean, that is the end-all be-all place for finding out information on rooting whatever device it is that you're using, finding all kinds of the best applications and that sort of thing. So definitely good stuff there. So I think I'm going to wrap it up with my usual message. And before I go and somebody complains, where's your pretty little logo? Oh, come on. I've been running that same logo for years and years and years and years, and I figured I'd try and do something different. Maybe one of these days I'll sit down in front of Blender and make a new title sequence. So I figured let's go back to basics again. So I figure why not? Besides, it's uncomfortable moving this table and everything over to the green screen wall over there and that sort of thing. So I figured we're going to opt for something different for the time being. At least we're going to start seeing some more videos coming out and that sort of thing. All right, so a little bit of love goes a long way. So please be sure to take some of your time and be excellent with somebody. Until next time, peace out.